Hello, my name is Jimmy and this is the 2023 Genesis G90. Now, before you dismiss it like the Equus that you certainly did, this competes with the S-Class and the 7 Series, but it's not priced like them. It's priced, well, closer to the E-Class, and because of that, it's definitely something you should look into. This is like the third kind of iteration of the G90. As said, we had the Equus before, but then we moved on to the G90 in the first and second gen, and the third that we have here, and it's vastly improved. So let me tell you everything that you need to know, starting with the looks. On the front, it's distinctively Genesis. You got your thin two-line headlamp design, and this grille, yes, it's massive, but check out the depth. It's not just some, well, grille. This is actually quite unique and quite cool looking. And on the side here, we see this clamshell hood that goes over the front fender, over these 21-inch wheels. These are standard here for Canada as we don't have any options. Just, well, Canadian spec, they just give you everything. You do get these pop-out door handles, which look amazing, and they work really well. And of course, I'm sure you've seen in other videos, you can press one button here, and the doors can automatically close themselves. And that's not only the front door, you get the exact same for the rear as well. And of course, the G90 is all about, well, the rear occupant. So not only do you have the press to close, they're also soft closing. Moving to the back, we got your traditional sedan shape here. You do get a little bit of a lip spoiler, and that two-line headlamp stretches, well, its way to this tail lamp that's in the back end. It's very, very distinctive, and it's actually quite pretty. And I do love the Genesis crest exhaust tips that you get on the bottom as well. I mean, overall, it's a distinctive sedan. It's a lot better than the previous generation. Not the second one, but the first one. Because the first one was, well, truly bland. They didn't take much risks there. The second one they did, and, well, here they took even further. But I love the design of it. It's very, very distinctive. And I'm sure, you know, other Genesis products is going to soon have kind of this kind of look to it when it comes down later down the years. If we open up the trunk here, of course, it is automated. You get 11 cubic feet. It's certainly not the biggest, but it's more than sufficient for this type of vehicle. And if you need to carry longer items, there is a pass-through in the center. But I don't really suspect G90 owners to be using that all that much. Let's check out those back seats. All right, the rear seats of the G90. As you can see, the doors, well, they open really, really wide, and you can adjust them kind of anywhere you want. So even if you're on a slant or anything like that, you don't have to worry about the door closing on you, because it can. Once you step inside, well, you can either press a button on the door or in the middle here, and the door closes for you. You don't have to get your butler to do that for you. And, well, your phone, that can either go in the Qi wireless charging right here in the center or in this cubby, and there's a UV light to clean your phone for you. How cool is that? Now, back seats is pretty traditional. First off, you got your shades like you would for many luxury cars, and it is automated, so you can lower them down with the button on the side. But what's cool is, well, the lighting that's in here. Sure, you have ambient lighting on the side, and that's all very nice and pretty, but the lighting that's on top, you can change the color tone. So right now it's on normal, but I can change it to cool or warm white if I wanted to. You won't see that much on camera, but there's a difference. There really is. And that is quite unique and very, very cool. Just as cool are these seats. Not only are they like the most comfortable place to be, but the seats themselves are heated, they're cooled, and very adjustable, because I can press the rest button here, and well, this seat moves into a full recline position. It folds the front seat forward, basically onto itself, and I get a little extension cushion on the bottom to, well, make it ultra comfortable in here. It basically is like a limousine, a very, very pleasant experience. However, if you're not carrying someone of, you know, higher status that needs all this, well, you might be putting child seats in the back. And I was able to put 2 child seats here as I am a child passenger safety technician. I have a Kleckling here. This is an infant carrier child seats. No problem getting that in the cabin here. As you can see, there's plenty of space on the passenger side here. Here's a Kleck Fünf that my son is sitting on. Once again, absolutely no problems at all. And because the seats are quite adjustable, well, you can adjust it to fit the car seats themselves. So the angle and whatnot, you can change it. It's actually really, really cool. But let's head up to the front, because as cool as it is back here, well, there's actually more toys up there. So let me get out of here. So I'm gonna press the door open button, and the seats will slide back into a regular position, allowing me to jump out. So let's do that. All right, the front seats. Once I press on the brakes, the door can close, or there is a button right here in the center as well. My seats roll into position, steering wheel comes down, and I'm greeted by one of the most pleasant places to be in, really. The seats themselves are heated, they're cool, they're Napa leather, they're massaging. It's very, very comfortable, as you might expect on a vehicle like this. They're very adjustable as well, so the bolsters on the side, it's great. It's very similar to like S-Class quality kind of thing. The only thing is, like, the Germans, what they do a little bit better is the heated zones. Well, you can control your heated seats and the heated steering wheel. You don't get heated panels, which the Germans do get. So the center here and the side, they're not heated, which for most people you're not really going to complain about, but it is definitely something that's lacking when comparing to a German counterpart. What this does have is very functional controls, because the steering wheel in front of me, while it is a little weird to look at, it's kind of like the head from Hey Arnold. You might remember that cartoon if you're a little bit older like myself, but it's a little different. It works well, but it's just a little bit odd. Behind you do have I was going to say more traditional, but it is a full digital cluster. It works really, really well and shows you everything that you need. I love this cluster. The only thing is, I think I like the G90 cluster a little bit more, as that feels a little bit more special to me. This, yeah, it's a screen, but that one, it has that 3D effect. I mean, take it for what you will, but I just think this is just not as cool as that. But that's just my opinion. Above, you do have a heads-up display, and that works well. Shows you everything that you need, including like if there's anyone in the blind spots as well. And in the main infotainment, well, that is a reskin version of the Hyundai and Kia products. It is very different in terms of the looks. It works well though. I mean, only when you dive into sub-menus is when you really see the roots of it, but it has everything that you need. The only thing I would complain about is, well, yes, you get CarPlay and Android Auto support. You do have to plug it into a USB port, and that's mounted in the center here. So you do have to basically leave your phone either in the center cubby here, or have a wire that runs out and snakes into your cup holder, or here in this, well, Qi wireless charger, and that just doesn't look the best. But overall, like, it's very, well, simple and easy to use cabin space. You have a lot of dedicated buttons for everything. Unlike the brand new 7 Series as well as the S-Class, where, well, a screen is really dominating the interior, this, well, it's very, very different. It's much more traditional, the way that it's styled. And I think, well, the people that's going to be buying this, I feel like it's going to be the older generation that's going to be buying that. And I just feel like they're going to be more inclined to like something like this, rather than diving into screens to change every single function. There's just buttons galore in here, and that's definitely not a bad thing. Before we go for a drive, let's talk a little bit about the powertrain. Here in Canada, we only have one option. It's a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 with an electric supercharger powered by the 48-volt mild hybrid battery. It has 409 horsepower and 405 pound-feet of torque. Mated to that is an 8-speed automatic and all-wheel drive. And all of that translates to getting you to highway speeds in just about, well, 5 seconds. Stout performance. But it's not about that, is it? It's about the ride, it's about the comfort. And it has many drive modes to cater to that. Not only is there Eco, Comfort, and Sport, which is pretty traditional, you also have Smart and Chauffeur. The Chauffeur mode, well, really softens everything down so that whoever's in the back can have the best and utmost luxurious ride. Since I don't have anyone in the back right now, I have it in Smart. And what that does is, well, determine about how you've been driving the vehicle. It can adjust the throttle sensitivity, the suspension. It uses the cameras to look at the road. It's very, very smart. And because of that, it's actually, well, it actually makes for a really, really good ride. It's so comfortable in here that it's basically like a lounge. And that's basically what you're looking for, right? It's not designed to be some luxurious, sporty ride. It's not a BMW 7 Series, especially like the M760. That's going to be, well, much more in terms of that sportier driving dynamics type of luxo boat, which really that's what it's designed for. Even if you put it in sport mode, well, yes, it does hunker down a little bit and, well, stiffens things up just a tad and gives you the bolsters that you need. It's not the most sporty when it comes to dynamics, and that's totally fine. Once again, not what this vehicle is designed for. When you're on the highway, you turn on the adaptive cruise control. It's very, very easy to use. You press the buttons that it needs, and you're, well, trailing the vehicle in front of you. It has really good lane keep that it keeps you within your lane. And this has the highway driving assist with lane changing capability. So when you flick on the blinkers, it can change lanes for you as well. Not that that's ever been hard to do, but it can do it for you. And that's the cool part of this. It can do a lot for you. And that's really what the G90 is about. Yes, it's comfortable. It's decently powerful, but it's, well, you don't really have to pay that much attention to it. And I think that's the best part about G90. It's simple. It's dead easy to use. Anyone can jump in here and just drive. Change the things that they need and adjust whatever. It's so simple in here. And it's a great place to be. It's superbly quiet. The engine has more than enough power. It's relatively fuel efficient. Sure, it's not the most engaging to drive. That's really the 7 Series. But if you compare this to an S-Class, well, there's a lot to love in here. There really is. And it's priced at 115,000 Canadian dollars. It's superbly, I was going to say cheap, but let's say inexpensive, relatively speaking. It's priced like an E-Class, but you get S-Class room, S-Class presence, and, well, a lot of S-Class type features. And that's really the best thing about the Genesis product line. You get so much for your money here. Honestly, you really can't go wrong getting a G90. You really can't. And please do, because in, 6, 7, 8 years down the line, someone like myself, who isn't some famous YouTuber, can afford every single brand new nice vehicle, maybe I can pick up a G90 by then. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video. Like the video if you do, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.